Folks, what is going on? Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. No camera tonight. I'm sure people are like already typing, hey, your camera's not on. But yeah, no camera tonight. I'm sick. If you remember last week, I had to cancel because my kiddo was pretty sick. And as things always flow, that means this week I am very sick. So I didn't want to have the camera on the whole time with a bunch of lights in my face and stuff. And you'll have to pardon my voice being a little bit strained during the stream. But hopefully, other than that, it'll be a nice experience. So, right now our group is about level 8 to 10-ish. We have a little spread there. And I'm still rocking a Paladin, fully geared out relative to my level with Ashen Bronze, which is a trade skill, crafted armor piece, or armor set. I've got some minor jewelry kind of stuff, like little 2 health rings and 1 dexterity earrings. Nothing too crazy. And tonight we're going to be messing around in some goblin caves as much as we can, but the server is popping, and most of the camps we wanted to mess with are camped, so we'll see how we do. Halberd, it is good to see you, dude. Dax, it's definitely in like a testing status. It's hard to say exactly what it is. Like, people who have, I think, just like basically beta access can access it periodically. So it's still in development, I guess I would say. I wouldn't call it pre-alpha any longer. Right now we're delving deep into this cave, so you can kind of see the effect of the light as it reflects off the rocks here. They're working, I think, like one of the big things they're going to be doing now in the next couple weeks is a new lighting pass. So we'll see this change a lot from how it is, but right now this is the lighting that we get, and you know, it's not terrible. I like the way the mushrooms glow and stuff. I'm not a fan of like outdoors nighttime, especially if it's cloudy and the moon's not out, because the moon does project light. But otherwise, yeah, this is not terrible. But Chunder, what's going on? Good to see you, dude. Thank you so much for the sub. 6-month streak. I didn't, Dax. I missed it. Did you play it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, all we can do really is hope for the best and root for both games, right? Cloudy with the Prime sub. Thank you so much, Cloudy. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing, Cloudy? What level are you? Nine. Nice. Got the bat. This bat's blue. So these mobs that are down in these caves, I don't think the bat counts, but the goblins count as dungeon mobs, which means they give like enhanced EXP because they're like relatively harder for their level. Getting your 6 PCs ready? I bet. Do you know what you're going to play? What your comp's going to be? So these goblins use an ability that you could see sometimes called Pressure Plate. And it does a ton of damage and shit, so we're trying to interrupt it whenever we see it. These mobs also run when they're low on health, so we have to have a way to snare them or grab them or something. Our rogues put down caltrops, which slow them down. We put down root traps, and I have, as a last resort, I have my little grab Edict of Celestial Might where I pull them back to me. But if they get too far, we could get a big train. You're teaming up with VMIS. Okay. So are you guys gonna 3 and 3 and then do a second crew, or are you guys just both gonna like hang out around each other 6 boxing? Yeah, I like the goblins. Little area down here we could drop to, but I think it's much higher level than what we're ready for. With your own crews, okay. So do you see yourself grinding through like the full Guck route? Upper Guck to lower Guck kind of thing? Dax, do you think you'll level fast enough to come to like the first raids, probably like day 3 to 5 in that range? Aslan, I'm glad you're liking it. Yeah, that's another point. Speaking of how it looks, what do I have? My graphics are set on normal, so like I don't think any of the other streams we've showed the graphical settings and how they look now, but there's basically 3 options that you can toggle. If I put it on ultra, this is what we get. A lot more detailed than what we were just looking at. Now let's swap it down to normal. Okay, some of the details gone, but not too much. Now let's swap it down to fast. There, this is performance mode. It's like, you know, very lightweight. Performance very high. We'll pop it back up to ultra for now. Do you usually take sleep breaks, Dax, or you go until you hit 50? We recently got this ability called Valiant Cross. It's an AoE attack, like a little frontal cone. It's very nice for trying to keep multiple mobs on you. Yeah, I feel that, Dax. It gets harder as we get older. So this ability that I'm using here, Wrathful Aegis, is basically like a small AoE persistent dot that also generates some threat. So that combined with Valiant Cross seems like I can hold two mobs pretty good, especially if I have them close together, so I can hit both with Valiant Cross. It's crazy to think that Mangler was 5 years ago already, but yeah. I don't know, KHB. I try not to even like put a time on it, because when I first started pre-alpha testing, I was like, oh, by like 2020, this thing will definitely be out. Snatch. I just enjoy it for what it is, and you know, take each patch and look at what I like and enjoy it. KHB, Ularic, thanks for the sub. Yeah, it is already very playable. What do we got? We have a train coming this way? Yeah, that's not good. Put some AoEs out there. Gotta get this guy. Heal myself. I can't. There we go. We're solid now. Yeah, the AoE threat's feeling really powerful here. Hex, what's up, dude? No, in fact, I would say Cleric right now is the worst of the healers. Shaman is super good. Shaman is really, really good. They bring a lot to the table. Especially with a Paladin. So, like, the big thing with the Shaman, the downside is that their heals are heal over time. So, like, if you need a sudden splash, Shamans are not nearly as good as a Cleric is. But as a Paladin, I've got my own quick heal that I can use. So, it balances out really well. And the Shaman just brings a lot to the table with, like, damage dealing ability, all the buffs they bring for the group and stuff. So, it's powerful. Very powerful. Oh, okay, Concealed. Good to see you, dude. Frenzied. So Frenzied is one of the dispositions. I think I've seen like Frenzied and Rabid lately. Get over here. I don't know what either of them do. I'm pretty sure Rabid is like, if it's Rabid, it could be a non-hostile type mob, and since it's Rabid, it is hostile. But I'm not sure what Frenzied does. It probably has like an increased melee damage output. Crichton, thanks for the follow. By the way, good to see you, Crichton. Crichton, we were just talking about TSS launch the other day, right? Are we? Thanks for the sub. Again, folks, apologies. As you can probably tell, got a bit of a cold. Hopefully next week I'm back in commission. We'll bring the camera back. No more annoying voice, or at least only the normally amount of annoying voice. Dax, yeah, definitely they are. I mean, like, you never know what's going to happen, I suppose, but as much as it's in our power, Faceless is the biggest guild on the server by a wide margin. They're still splitting multiple splits. They clear everything first. It's a super friendly guild, and like as time has gone on, Faceless on Mischief has transitioned to be more and more casual friendly. And basically since Depths of Dark Hollow started working with the broader server community more and more, to where we're trying to contribute as much as we can. If other guilds are struggling, we'll even like send some of our people over to raid with them on their nights, help out. Anytime there's an opportunity to trade flags or do that kind of stuff, we do that. Obviously, some guilds need it, some guilds don't. Some guilds are still doing great on their own. But I think Faceless is poised to continue on really well. In the end, those things sort of come down to like which guild has the most people that won't quit or play on the new TLP, right? So you can never say for sure, but I think we are best positioned amongst all the guilds to go the distance. Still a super deep roster, about to enter Veil of Laris, with maybe like 100 active raiders. 100. We were lucky. We were able to get out of those early eras with reputation intact, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have a reputation on the local server as being like a blight on the community. You know, there's always someone who's going to cry and hate you or whatever, but generally the guilds we got along pretty well with, which meant that as we progressed deeper into things, when guilds would fold, they would usually roll up into us, and it's just kept us nice and beefy. Big Dirty, what's up? Thinking about going back to Project Quorum? Yeah, so Big Dirty, the server is doing really well. Top guild there is also Project Faceless. They are, I mean, they're just doing their thing, same as it was before, right? Everyone does their weekly clears, and then Faceless usually dominates the instance, or the quakes. Losing a mob here and there because, you know, it's a quake, so you can't win them all. And June, I think early June, we're getting Kunark on Project Quorum. But sometime in May, I want to say they're opening up Kunark just for Ixars, for people to start like fresh level 1 Ixars and level to 50. With no outside involvement, no one else can go to Kunark. Just Ixars. So cool stuff happening. Yeah, that was fun, right? When they summoned CT and like we were getting tons of EXP off of all those little CT mobs because we formed a raid. That was good stuff. Yeah, I think you should go back. The guild is doing good. Everybody's having fun. The server's great. Fates and I were talking about going back and playing for Kunark for a little bit. All the big drama has died down on Project Quorum. Everyone gets along. Same thing as with Mischief. Like, guild reputation has improved a lot, and everyone's like pretty much friendly and working together in harmony. Stream Elements, thank you for informing the stream chat that I'm streaming this. Okay, cool. Yeah, you should. Well, you know, that's the thing, though. You'll be able to level that Ixar up untwinked if you want. Kithri, what's going on? Good to see you. So, Dax, the big question is, right now, you know, Faceless is kind of all over the place. We have the Mischief Guild, we have the Burtox Guild on live, we have the Project Quorum Guild, and we have the 25th Anniversary Guild forming up. Which, by the way, folks, if you haven't seen that, come hang out. Come join us for the 25th Anniversary TLP server this year. Faceless will be on there. And as you expand and do these things, there's always a risk that you'll harm one of the other guilds. So we want to avoid that as best we can. Don't want to spread too thin. There's our new Discord server if you want to check it out. You don't think anyone's going to play on the TLP, Rect? I don't know, man. I think if it's really a Mischief 2.0, it's going to be big no matter what. Just the fact that they say they'll do more on the anti-cheat front is enough to get people to give it a shot and come back, even if they were like annoyed with how Oakland was. Now, it'll definitely, in my opinion, definitely going to be FTE again. So people are just going to have to accept that FTE is the law of the land now. But yeah, Rect, what makes you think that people won't play? Since this area in game counts as a dungeon, I think it's got like a relatively slow respawn. I think we're looking at like 15-16 minutes for respawns down here. That's what's up, Chunder. Yeah, I agree, Rect. It's a big problem, and I hope they can overcome it. I was worried that was going to get away from us. So, Butt, are you going to roll with the team over here? You going to join Faceless for the TLP? Watchful and Acrobatic. I assume Watchful has a wider aggro radius. See if I can AoE both of these. Acrobatic, I have no idea what it means. But having 3 of these in camp is not great. I gotta try to get this off of us. Okay, hit 2 of them. No, I hit all 3, I think. Perfect. Oh no! It's not looking good. 4. We have 5 on us. We gotta run. Pretty sure. Oh boy. I can't cast anything. All my wrath is gone. Okay. What's our next lowest? Right here. Let's do it. I really want to have a hide corpse all feature. Add that soon, please, K. Thanks. I can't believe we're turning this around. That was spicy. Nice, down to 2. Alright, looks like we're gonna focus deeps on this. Sorry if I'm not responding, folks. That pressure plate just got us. I'll catch up on chat when this dude dies. I need to save Wrath to yoink him. Not today. All right. That was awesome. That was the first time I felt like some tension in the group since I've been playing, to be honest. Yeah, they should hire secrets, right? Oh, it's interesting that Watchful will also see through stealth. Makes sense. Because like in Pantheon, NPCs can like smell you and stuff to detect you. Has that been happening a lot? I don't keep up with WoW at all, Dax. Yeah, KHB, you know, I saw that the PvP guys, you know, had a little bit of some pain in the Discord the other day, but with that stuff, I just let people disagree with me. Like, who cares? I saw a month or two ago, dude, I saw a dev asking for some data about PvP servers in Discord that would only matter if you were going to do like a new PvP TLP to me. So like there's a little DA effect that you get when you zone on PvP servers, so you don't get killed before your character's like back controllable in the world. And they were like, hey, what does that spell? Dev was asking the players what that was. So weird thing to ask if you're not doing something new with PvP again, right? Relic. What's my opinion on DL and Kame? Yeah, I think they will be. I know everyone is nervous. There's a group of people who are very nervous about Dire Lords not being able to wear plate. So for people who haven't played this, the context here is like there are three big tank classes: Warrior, Paladin, and Dire Lord. Of those three, like Warrior is like, you know, no magic, standard stuff. Paladin's got heals. Dire Lord has a little bit of DPS. Dire Lord has the best aggro capability, but Dire Lord can only wear up to chain armor, no plate. So people are worried, I think, about the tanking capability without plate armor, and I think it's a fair thing to be concerned about. But what I remember reading, and I haven't played the Dire Lord very much, what I remember reading felt like, why is this running? It felt like Dire Lord's intended role was to handle things with like a lot of casting. And I think if you stick to that niche and then in endgame content, like raid content, should be fine. In the end, it comes down to like we have a ton of time to get and give feedback for the devs, and I think that they'll listen generally, right? So I'm not worried about like what's going to happen in the future, because when we test that high-end content, I know that I'll be able to give my feedback on what is wrong, and they'll probably listen to it. And that's where my comfort level comes in. So I'm like, hey, let's see how it plays out, and I'm going to give the appropriate feedback when there's something to sink my teeth into about it. Like right now, I think the Paladin is too strong. I'm confident the Paladin will get nerfed from its current state. But it's funny, when we were getting ready for Season 1, Faceless Pantheon crew was forming a bunch of groups, like static groups, and people were like, hey, group is looking for a tank, no Paladins. Like, Paladin was so bad at one point that groups were refusing to take Paladins because they couldn't hold aggro. And now they're like, I mean, you guys saw a second ago, right? Like, I was holding aggro on 5 mobs simultaneously and keeping myself healed. So Paladins are like, they went from 2 weak probably to now they're incredible. And while I think it's probably stronger than it was supposed to be, it feels super fun to play. So hey, maybe that's not the wrong state. You know, maybe it should be that way. I don't know. Rico, I don't know. Isn't like the lowest amount that you could pay to play like $30? 50. There you go. So yeah, for you could pay $50 and you could be testing 1 week a month, or 1 week every 6 weeks or something like that. Okay, yeah. So there you go. For $50, you can play 1 in every 6 weeks. Dax, why are all the mid to top mid mythic raid guilds in WoW dropping out? What's going on? I guess I don't understand. Like, why was it worth the effort before? Because of like a certain level of notoriety you got from being in the top ranks, or is it just like far grindier now? Passion and money. Yeah, I guess I just don't understand what the return on investment even could be. I can definitely understand being burnt out on it. I mean, the MMO genre just is not in a good spot right now. So yeah, see, like, it's hard for me to empathize with that because, like, you know, we play EQ and people play EQ 24/7 and have zero chance of ever getting any sponsor, so it's like, who cares? This thing seems bigger than the other spiders we fought. I almost prefer a raid scene where money isn't involved because it gets too weird. Like, I like the idea of guilds as organizations that people like are loyal to and want to be a part of. Like, you chose the team and it's your team and you fight for it. Not like an NFL team where like we draft and I hire this guy who's really good to be on our team and he's with my team because we offered him the best contract. That kind of thing. That I'm not sure I like that. That reminds me of Destiny 1, where I had to have like 3 max level hunters that I rated like Vault of Glass on every single week to get that 1 additional point of light. Trek said I got special permission. Good to see you, by the way. Pope, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. I feel like everything we've seen in the last like 5 to 10 years suggests that success in the MMO space is like defined by ease of access and like availability. Even EverQuest is all about instance content, even in TLP, like classic servers now. When Pantheon is ready to release, like right now, when pre-alpha first opened, we were like super hardcore into it, and we've kind of, over years of being in testing status, we've become more casual about it. If the game were to ever officially release, I think it's still our intent to go as hard as we possibly can, like to take like weeks and weeks of time off of work if available, and play in groups and share accounts so you can sleep while someone else plays your character. Like just as hard as we could possibly manage to play without dying or ruining our lives is what our intent would be. Now, that's not to say there's not space for more casual people, but like the bleeding edge of our guild would be doing that, and there would be a lot of those people. Hopefully it's not for like 10 more years so my kids are grown up. I love watching the caltrops get thrown down. They look so cool. I made all my plans for Pantheon launch when I was a young single man, and now I'm an old dad. Right now, for Faceless, the next big agenda is the new anniversary TLP, seeing if we can successfully set up a fourth branch of Faceless. Fourth EQ branch, that is. I mean, we should be able to. We have like an unbelievably awesome team, like all my favorite people, already ready for launch. A lot of it is going to depend on how good the rule sets are. Every time I see it, I love the caltrops. Watching them drop like that and bounce around. Pope, get out of here, dude. Get out of here. You are absolutely fine. Classic EverQuest is so easy that if you had 5 brain cells, you could be good enough to play it in any guild in the world. And I'm confident, Pope, that you have at least 6 brain cells. Out of my tree, welcome. This is, yeah, I mean, Pantheon is, it's in a pretty good state right now, I would say. They could, honestly, they could just drop it in early release, like, next week, and it would be fun for a lot of people. As far as I can tell right now, it's just a matter of adding additional content and stuff. More zones. Right now, it's in testing. but the testing audience is much wider than it used to be. There's still an NDA for video and streaming, so I was given permission right to do this stream. And thanks to Visionary Realms for that, by the way. That was awesome. Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll really see a Kunark start. I was talking about this, like my friend Biggs, who's actually in this group, he told me this like right after I uploaded a YouTube video saying that we thought it was going to be a Kunark start, and I felt like a big dummy. But on test server, they maybe intentionally, showed the TLP server names, what we think are the TLP server names. It says they launch Kunark on May 20th. So everyone was like, oh man, you know, like probably a Kunark start, right? And that's definitely what I was thinking when I saw it. But May 20th is weird because, like, one, it's a Monday. Servers don't launch on Mondays. But what if it was June 20th? What if instead of a 5, it was a 6/20? Then it would be on a Thursday, which is perfect because that's the day that expansions launch, always on Thursdays. So we actually think that there's a good chance we're getting jumped here. That the server is going to launch on May 22nd, which is what we've always thought, in Classic. And then 1 month later, it will enter Kunark on June 20th. And that the test server just shows dates a little bit weirdly because test gets patches early and everything else early anyway. Or it could have just been a typo too, so any of those things. But yeah, I'm sort of sold on the idea that it's actually going to be a Classic launch Mischief clone with a little bit of spice with the EXP rate. And it's going to launch in Classic and have the exact same Mischief timeline, which was 1 month of Classic, 2 months of Kunark, 2 months of Velius, 2 months of Luckland, 3 months of Pop, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, out of my tree. It's they had to do that refactor a couple years ago, and that was, I think, definitely a low point for the game. But now it's awesome. It's a ton of fun, and they've recovered everything that they lost with the refactor, and then some, I would say. Yeah, I'm excited. I recently had Joppa, the creative director of Pantheon, on my podcast, Drama Quest. And he said, I think he said within like a few months here, they intend to have, or they aim to have all of the classes in, which will be pretty awesome. Out of my tree, thanks for the follow. I agree, Big Dirty. For a long time, I've said I would like to see a TLP server where basically like after Velius or maybe after Pop, instead of going to like the next expansion, GOD or Luckland, they instead divert entirely and go to a new Classic style expansion. You know what I mean? Just more nostalgia styled content, but is actually fresh. I forget the exact timeline Trexit. I'd have to go back and check, but like I swear that they were saying by like season 2 or 3, so like 3 months-ish. Maybe it was like in the next 6 months. That might have been it. One too many late nights playing EQ has fried my brain. I have no memory anymore. Shibe, what's going on, dude? How long did it take to download the launcher? Let's see. How long was it for me? I think it was like an hour, maybe. It was not super fast. Yeah, Butcher, like a Classic Plus. Because you know how, like, basically at a certain expansion, EQ stopped feeling like old school EQ, right? I'm not saying it's bad, because I love a lot of the new EQ content. But the flavor of it, the way it felt as a player, was definitely not the same, right? And I think the expansion, the Serpent's Spine, which most people haven't played still, has shown that you can make content in the spirit of Classic EQ that has the feel of Classic EQ, but is not Classic EQ, right? So what if they just made fresh content and aimed for a design perspective that wanted to emulate classic EQs as much as possible in terms of feel and gameplay style that it was designed around. I think that would be cool. Call it EQ 1.5. Yeah, I heard that Holly's done a lot of great things for Blizzard. Honestly, like, I can't say enough positive things about both Holly and J-Chan. Their time as the top brass for EverQuest was awesome. Both of them did great things. So, and I mean, J-Chan is still there and continues to do great things. So I like them both a lot. I think they've done really great things. Big Dirty, I think so. Yeah. There's a lot of mobs in camp right now, dudes. I need to grab this rock hauler if I can. Iron Willed, great. Shipmate, we have a paladin, which is me, a shaman, a cleric, a wizard, a rogue, and a monk. Our group is relatively resilient because we have basically 3 healers: paladin, shaman, and cleric. And it definitely helps times like this. Not today. I love being a paladin in this game. It's so good. So good. Right, yeah, the classic art style is a big factor too. Like, I'm just gonna, hope that they can handle that spider over there. Yeah, actually, like, if I had to pick, like, EverQuest could only have had J-Chan or could only have had Holly, I would actually pick J-Chan. I think the changes that J-Chan has made have been, like, more critical for EQ to function as a playable game. Whereas Holly, like, I just pretty much credit her with, like, making TLPs seasonal. Which is big, right? It's big, especially for a person like me who likes basically only TLPs. But J-Chan has just had, like, it seems like her agenda has been, like, modernizing EQ on the back end and making the engine run better and reducing lag and a ton of other performance issues across the whole scope of the game. And it has been incredibly successful as a player. I can definitely see the difference and feel the difference when I play. When we do server launches and expansion launches, and it's like a stable environment, it's much appreciated. Monk is pretty good deeps. Yeah, I think Rogue is better deeps right now, but Monk can also off-tank pretty well. And they have the aggro tools to just take a mob for a little bit too, so they bring a lot with that. This is actually not Avatar's Pass. We're in Thronefast in a cave, a goblin cave. I don't know if Charm is a thing. I don't think Charm is a thing right now. There is no tutorial, shipmate. Yeah, there are some named spawns, but I think we're too low level to pursue them. There's like a whole other floor of this cave that we're not exploring. There might be 2 floors, in fact. But we're on the top floor because we're lobies. Sadly, I don't have a ton of time in the week to play, so like I would say like 80% of my time playing Pantheon is actually these 2 hours on stream every week. Otherwise, we would be a lot higher. My group hates me because I don't log in and I'm the tank, so yeah. But if you know me, that's just normal Zaide stuff. Disappointing the group. Creator, this game is not released. It is in a testing status. Yeah, the only pet class we have right now is Shaman. At level 10, they get a pet. Their pet's okay. Not incredible, which is appropriate, I would say. In previous tests, we have had Summoners. But it's been a while, I think. Right, there's only been one wipe in the last several weeks, and that was because there was like a series of bugs that had to get fixed. And the bugs allowed you to level much more quickly than was intended. So like the whole server was like level 20, which is just not good for people to like test out the smoothness of moving from area to area and provide feedback and stuff there. I think right now the EXP is far too slow though. We've gotten 30% EXP so far and 1 hour of grinding on the stream in a dungeon, and we're just, as you guys can see, like we're just chain pulling mobs, most of which are like yellow to me, like they're like 2 or 3 levels higher than me. You can get buffs from people outside your group, yeah. They tend to last like 30 to 40 minutes. I have an aura, so like this thing right here, top right, Hymn of Devotion, is an aura that makes healing do more if you're within like a certain range of me. So everyone in my group gets it. Yeah, real slow right now. Not fast enough for the testing environment, in my opinion. It's crazy. But I get it. They want it to be slow. Will I get in? What's up? Is the balance pretty good or maybe too easy? That's a tough question. Everyone's opinion is going to be different. I think it's fine. Maybe it's a little bit too easy. There was time on this stream where we had 5 mobs in camp and we didn't wipe. And I think as a rule of thumb, if you get 5 mobs in camp, you probably should wipe. Especially because we didn't have like an enchanter to mez anything. We didn't really root anything. If I was in voice with my group and we could coordinate, we probably could have pulled mobs to different like corners and rooted them there. And that would have been a reasonable way to survive. But in reality, I just tanked all 5 of them. I probably shouldn't be able to do that. But it was a lot of fun. Trek said, I stream every Saturday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that First has shown me around. I hope you like the stuff. My big project right now has been an EverQuest podcast where I go through the history of EQ from not like the development history, but the history of the players. You know how every server had like, you know, their Legacy of Steel, their Fires of Heaven, and there was like tons of drama. Like, oh man, Legacy of Steel raced against Pandemonium and they did this and that, and you know, there was this big fallout, and then the GMs did that. Like, I tell that history server by server, year by year. We are 30 episodes in right now. And I would like to record a new episode if my illness would ever clear up and I didn't have this stupid nasally voice. Kithri, thanks for the follow. Yeah, Butchunder, absolutely an optimal group is big. I mean, like, this is a really bad group to use as a representation of this, too, because not only is it a relatively optimized group for survivability, but it's also a group of people who have played together for like, literally years. And it's some of the best people I've played with, period. So it definitely doesn't represent, like, what a pickup group would be, you know what I mean? Big Dirty, thanks for the sub, the gifted sub. To Inside the Mind's Eye. Oh my goodness, good to see you, Inside the Mind's Eye. You were in a Terrace Thule guild called Valen. Wonder if Valen Zek had a guild called Terrace Thule. As an old school EQ player, you find it sad that groups are slaughtering reds / orange. Not sure if it's a solo mob or group, because I haven't seen any arrows. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. In the end, I think it doesn't matter too much, right? Like, the game ends up balanced around you doing one of the two things. So what would be sad would be if the game was balanced around you farming blues and there was a group that was able to farm yellows and reds. But right now it's just balanced around a competent group being able to farm mobs that are about 2 levels higher than them pretty consistently. If you go too much higher than that, then suddenly, like, you might be able to kill them, but the time to kill is far too long to be effective. Where they will ultimately land, who knows what their intent is, I couldn't say, but I understand the desire for the game world to feel more threatening, and for it to be more threatening, you shouldn't be able to kill mobs that are like 2-3 levels higher than you, and like an even con mob should generally like defeat you. I think that is the case. I think like solo, any even con mob pretty much defeats any player. But the action economy is such that in a group you pretty much roll through them, as you can see. This is the Pantheon, Saul. The Rise of the Fallen. Should you roll a Wizzy or a Mage for the new TLP? I would say... Ooh, that's a tough question. I would go with a Mage. Shock of Swords on Nameless. Oh, baby. What's up, Mr. Green? That's awesome. Everyone talks about Legacy of Steel killing Avatar of War for the first time. But they often neglect to mention that it was a joint raid with Shock of Swords. My whole computer lagged when that goblin threw a rock for some reason. Let's go, Nameless, baby. Shock of Swords is good guild name too. I'm envious of those really cool guild names from back in the day. If I could go back and rename Faceless in 2011 and choose a different guild name, I would. I think Faceless is okay. Solid 5 out of 10. 6 out of 10 maybe. You know what I mean? But what if I named it Sense Heading or Bind Wound? I feel like that would be cooler. Veto. The good thing about Faceless is people can't really steal your name. Like on EQ, you can only have one name for a guild globally. So if you're planning, like if I was to advertise today that the next Faceless guild on the 25th anniversary was going to be called Faceless Adventurers, right? Before this stream was over, someone who doesn't like us would be on a random server and would have created that guild so that we could not use the name. And then the day that the server launched, they would send me a tell and say, I will give you your guild name back for like $100. and that's what would happen, right? But with Faceless, luckily, I could just add like any noun or adjective after the word Faceless, and there's infinite variations on guild names, so it works for the environment that we find ourselves in. Oh no, how long have I been muted? I was talking mad shit. Well, we finally died, folks. So I guess it's not too easy. Our pooler says that those 3 goblins keep randomly coming to us. We don't know where they're coming from. And that time they finally got us. F's in the chat. Luckily, no corpse runs in testing at this particular moment, so we're good. I probably had some stuff I could have done. Yeah, I should be like eating my stat food, and I have like healing potions and runaway fast potions and shit. Which way do I want to go? I want to follow Biggs. TBK, what's going on, dude? Thanks for the resub. Can I add potions to the hotbar? It's a good question. Can I? Negative. I don't think I can add any items to the hotbar at the moment. Which more or less guarantees I will never use them unless someone yells like, Zaide, use your potion. It's in your inventory. Otherwise, you know, I'm just not going to touch it because I won't have the presence of mind to even consider it. There's Queena, our rogue. I'll follow her. Yeah, that makes sense, Turn. It should. Because they wouldn't have a limited action set or ability set. It would be good to have a totally separate thing for item clickies, too. Yeah, TBK. Remember last week when I canceled the stream because my daughter was really sick? Well, now it's me. Now I am really sick. My daughter is a bundle of energy. Just dad things. While we reform our group, here's a reminder that if you are going to play on the 25th anniversary TLP, click that Discord link in the chat and come play with Faceless. It'll be the 4th EverQuest branch of Faceless. We have this stuff down to a science now. Dude, wrecked. Seriously, yes. She coughed right in my mouth when she first got sick, and I was like, no, don't do this. We've been teaching her to cover her mouth. And I think I was like tucking her in for bed. And you always give them a kiss on the forehead as you're going in. And she like turned her head up and just coughed right in my mouth as I was coming in. It was awesome. Love it. It was probably too late before that. I was probably already destined for illness. Yeah, that's definitely minus 10 DKP right there. Why does my chat box keep scrolling up? Alright, we got Keg, Kumu, Zinix, myself. Just missing Biggs and Queena. Queena was already here. Run east. Okay. Okay, we're gonna swap. We're swapping camps. Well, that's good. You guys will get to see one more new camp. I guess it's not new. I think someone else has streamed it, I'm sure. But you'll see us do another camp besides just goblins for the whole night. This camp, I think, is better because it's a bit easier. Nice. He hits you with the hi dad and then sneezed in your face. That's good. Ooh, somebody's having a bad time in their goblin cave entrance over there. Yikes. Yeah, pretty much, Panda. That's exactly right. And my kid, I'm in the military, so my daughter goes to like a daycare that is for the military, which means they're constantly bringing in germs from all over the planet. Which means I'm just, perpetually like low-grade ill. I don't think I can add more chats right now. I can move UI elements around, but that's all I can do. I have not pulled through the walls at all, Relic. So I think maybe they have. I am not an HMC, no. Yeah, I mean, trust me, I've been in long enough. I don't even go to medical. I would have to like lose a limb to go to the hospital because I already know I can give myself Motrin without waiting in line for 3 hours. Relic, I'm in the Navy. A ruffian. Get out of here, dude. Put a shirt on. Imagine being a shirtless dude with no weapon and you come up and try to punch a dude in full chainmail. Life choices. Not today, son. Yep, shipmate, you did. Yes, you did. So a monk, he's a really bad monk though, Darwi. Actually, I had the privilege of leading season last year, which was really good. A lot of fun. I have now done pretty much all the big season jobs. I guess, sorry about that, by the way. I should be calling you brother. EMC. Gooblink, I'm going to PAX East. I'm not going to pay $1,500 to go to the SR Guild meetup, though. Miss me with that. Yeah, I'll be at PAX East. ...2016, I believe, was Agnar wrecked. Big Dirty, there are a ton of trade skills in. All my armor is trade skill armor. Like, it's actually incredibly fun. I really like it. You go mine ore and chop down trees and stuff, and then you craft stuff. There's like, every trade skill is basically in. When you chop down a tree, there's like a certain element of randomness about how much wood and what types of wood you'll get. Like, you'll definitely get like if I chop down a pine tree, I'm guaranteed to get some pine wood, but I might get some like other things with it too. And that randomness keys into a part of your brain, that gambling part. Mining ore especially, oh baby, it's fun. Oh, that's awesome, shipmate. You could put your weapon away. I don't know how to, but I know it like automatically goes away when I'm running around town and stuff. Yeah, basically, Dave. Yeah, basically. You have to pay a minimum of $50 to get in right now, and it's not like 24/7 access. If you pay, I think like $1,000 or something, you get 24/7 access to play, to test, I should say. If you pay $50, then 1 week in every 6-week season, you can test. I don't know. Paladin might be able to, but like it would be very slow. It would be very, very slow right now to do so. You could definitely duo to max level. Oh, sorry, 750 or 700 for 24/7. I misspoke. Yeah, Biggs has the data there. My moderator, Biggs. Biggs is the brains of this operation. These spiders look so wet. Or they're just like really shiny. Like someone waxed his bulbous little thorax area. He wanted to look his best. Is that one fighting the pet? Oh, okay. These things have some health, man, compared to goblins. I am doing nothing to this one. Like, it has taken almost no damage the whole time I've been fighting it. I need a flamethrower. I heard this particular cave is, like, really dark inside. You know what I don't like? This is just a pet peeve of mine. Some people really like this. I hate this whole thing where, like, I see the names and the numbers floating around like this. I don't like that. I want all that to go away. I want it to all be contained to a chat box. Like, the most I want is, like, seeing their ability that they're using occurring right here. But I don't want to see damage numbers floating and hits and misses and stuff out there like that. That's just me. And I'm pretty confident that there will be a toggle option at some point, but right now it's not toggleable, and I am excited for it to become toggleable. Yeah. See, like, WoW is... I mean, WoW's pretty much known as, like, super non-immersive gameplay, right? I want it to feel... I want to be immersed. I want to get sucked into the world. Speaking of spiders, today... Why did it just die again? I thought it was dead already. Today, I was outside with my my daughter, and she wanted me to blow up this big bounce house that we have. We own, like, one of those little bounce houses that kids can play in. So I blew it up, and then that meant, like, all the little kids in our neighborhood were suddenly, like, at my house, jumping in this bounce house. And one kid came over. She's taking her shoes off to get in. And she puts her hand on, like, this pillar on my back porch that, like, holds the roof up, I guess. I don't know anything about anything. I just call it a pillar. And there was this big, and I mean really big, like, big, thick, meaty spider on it. Like, where you could, like, see the fur on this thing. And she's, like, real small, like 3 years older or, like, less. So she was totally oblivious. And it crawled right onto her hand and up her arm. And all the kids saw it and were, like, freaking out, yelling spider. She's just, like... totally 1000% oblivious to it. Couldn't be happier. Spider was like crawling all over her, and I was like, I'm gonna have to like go crush the spider with like my hand or something. And then it just jumps off of her and runs away, and I was like, that was the best moment of my life, I think, because I am terrified of spiders and I did not want to have to get involved in this situation at all. Little anecdote about my life. When I was in Japan, for a brief period of time, my team worked in like a dilapidated building, like a building that was supposed to be like destroyed. Before they destroyed it, we had to work in it for a couple weeks, maybe even a few months. And there was a spider that came into the building, and it was so big that we heard it. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but the reason I knew something was afoot in there was I heard this sudden, like, thumping, like, rapid thumping, like, and I'm like, what was that? I go in the hall and I look, and there is this spider. To this day, the biggest spider I have ever seen. Oh, what is this? This looks like bad news. No, we're fighting it. All my wrath is gone because of the pool. There was like a gap in the pool time. We need to get on the evoker right here, I assume. Yep. Anyway, dude, the spider was so big. It was like bigger than my hand. And it generated noise, which is like the creepiest thing that's ever happened to me with the spider. Is like, I don't know, there's something about bugs, like I shouldn't be able to hear it moving, right? It shattered my understanding of what spiders did. And this thing was like running and hiding around the building, and we're like, no one could do anything, right? As soon as this thing was around and everyone was aware, like all work in the building stopped. So you've got all these sailors basically, and we're in there and we're just like, well, we're not doing any work until we get this fucking giant ass mammal spider thing handled. Wow, it is dark in here. I kind of like it. I like the way you can't see what's ahead until it's like too late. Eventually, one of those guys who just doesn't care about bugs at all, you might call him a manly man, he captured it in a coffee pot, and this thing took up most of the empty coffee pot. And then he just took the coffee pot outside, closed the door, and we never saw it again. But yeah, woo. That thing is like nightmare fuel. Yeah, had a nice cup of joe. Little extra spice in there. I think it's a huntsman spider is what it is. Like in Japan, they have like really, really large huntsman spiders. Come back. If I had wrath, I could have just yoinked it. Dude, when they're that big, like I don't even want to hit it. You know what would scar me for life? Like I couldn't continue living. A spider that big, and you like hit it, and it screams, and like you hear it like go like make those spider noises. You guys know the noise I'm talking about, like a high pitched like squeal kind of thing that a spider shouldn't make, but they make it in fantasy games like this. If that happened to me in real life, I'd be like, well, I think this is it. I think, yeah, I think I have to accept the warm embrace of the earth after this, because I just couldn't go on. Or like, what if you hit it and it just runs away, like annoyed but otherwise unaffected? I couldn't live my life knowing something like that was out there. So I just have to assume that neither of those things would happen. And the only way to make sure that I don't know for sure is to just not mess with it. Right, like it's not phased. It looks at you kind of angry with 8 eyes, and you're just like, you know, it was an accident, dude. Sorry. This place, it's yours. We're out of here. Yeah, you hear them grinding their pincers. When I was growing up, my family used to scare me with fake spiders all the time because I knew I was like... When I was a kid, you know that movie Arachnophobia? I was exposed to that movie at like a really young age. I want to say like age like 3 or something. Way too young to probably have seen it, so I've always been like terrified of spiders. It's probably not the kind of thing I should tell the internet about. And then my family, you know, reacting to my fear of spiders, played it up. So they would always like... Halloween time was always just like Spider Town in my house. They would get one of those spiders like that you hung above doorways, and it would come down and like jump on you when you walked through. And they had like this big giant spider that was kind of like a Roomba of spiders, if you could imagine. Like it just walked around the room with these big pincers and would like pretend to eat things somehow automatically. And I'm like, you know, age like 6 and younger in this timeline. And so I don't think I have ever grown out of the unease I feel around spiders. I could definitely trace it back to some of those events. Me and spiders, we're not cool. If they're outside, I try not to mess with them. But if they're in my home, they have to die. And by die, I mean I call my wife to come kill them. Yeah, Turin, you gotta have the shovel handy. See, I like the shovel because it puts so much space between you and the spider. My wife and I have a deal. Spiders, that's her territory. Burglars, got it. Yeah, I've only seen them in pictures. Are the Goliath bird-eating spiders in Australia? Where are they at? So Relic, is a rat tail just like a hairless tail? Is that what qualifies as a rat tail? I could see that. Slazik, I think if it was a burglar dressed as a spider, she and I would have to tag team it. I would throw stuff at it, and she'd go in with a shoe. Arvis, what's going on, dude? Are you still on Airdoon, Arvis? And if so, what guild are you in? Yeah, I've been good, dude. I've been good. Altered Minds, I heard it's a good guild. Top guild on air, dude. I don't know what's happening in there, but it does not look good. I get the feeling that our pooler... Yeah, our pooler got rooted on a pool. And our shaman went in to save him, and they both died. Time will tell, Arvis. I look forward to seeing your application, though. When was the last time we played together, Arvis? I mean, it's got to be years and years now, right? Oh my god, it died right as I was dropping my heal. Let's go. Here we go. Yeah, had to give me something big there. Multi-account, like boxers? Dude. Faceless has absolutely no problem boxing, I'll tell you that. Yeah, maybe like real early Mischief era. I think Kegnan is over here PvPing on a second monitor on the Reign of Thule PvP emulator while he's healing us. I think on the PvP server he plays a little bit of everything, but has mostly been maining an enchanter, and in here he's our cleric, yeah. There is a... Look, check this out. Bam! See? Weapon's gone. Arvis, you just gotta play warrior, cleric, monk, bard. Recommended class for soloing? Big Dirt, I would go... I'd try Paladin. Give Paladin a shot. Paladin or Cleric. Like, it's got to be something with a heal, pretty much. So I'd go Paladin, Cleric, or Shaman to try. Well, I think auto skill is in right from Classic now, right? You can type /auto skill, like, kick or some whatever bullshit. Originally, it was locked to 65, basically to pop. But now it's open. Yeah, so, I mean, boxing melee has become much, much easier with that. You just have to, like, keep the follow appropriate, I guess. I don't know. Not go to the hole, because your shit always gets stuck on those, like, little wall things. Yeah, it'd be cool to have like an actual sheath to put my shield like on my back or something. All in time. The only thing that sucks with boxing melee is like it's a pain if you're doing it on raids with indoor dragons. Like I don't know. I'm bad at EverQuest. Keep that in mind. But it's not easy to dodge the AEs every like 12 seconds. Yeah, healers adjust. Pure resist gear. Just swing till I die. Yeah, in this 2-hour session, we're not even going to get one level. It's crazy. I've got about 26 more minutes, but it's slower than old EQ. Took me like 2 hours to go from level 7 to level 8, dude. Farming like yellows and reds. %. 100% is slower, absolutely. It better pick a class you enjoy. What? Kegden. Holy. Where's Kumu at? Oh, he died. Okay. I'm not paying attention. Like, I could have been healing myself, but I'm bad. Reading chat. I'm not looking at the game. Alright, someone yell at the people on Reign of Thule to stop trying to PvP so our cleric can pay attention. Watch Queen to die here. Surviving. Okay. I like that my sword still moves. Alright, well, time for me to run back. East. Pantheon permadeath. I love the way this looks. This is really good. Let me show you guys some crafting really quick. Pine tree. Panda, yeah, absolutely. So what do we get? Pine log and pine branch. Cool, cool, cool. I do enjoy Pantheon. I like it a lot. I mean, it just does like it's the perfect thing, right? Like I just sit down with my friends and we group. We sit in a spot, they pull, I tank, or whatever we do. And it's just like playing EQ back in the day, man, where you just like would sit and guck with your homies and you would just play. That's kind of how it feels. Later, Arvis. Better join that Discord, bro. Oh, here we have some ore. What do we get? Coal and Casperite. LOL, Dave, right? The city of Thronefast itself isn't like actually in right now, but there was a time way back in the day where it was pretty much in. It was just like a lot of gray boxing in there, and there was a ton of NPCs and stuff. We haven't seen it in a long time. Where's my group? They're all this way. I did something wrong. Too high to climb. Go left. They're yelling at me. I'm trying to find you, group. Apologies. Here's Kumu. Oh, baby. Spirit Wolf, let's go. AKA Windstrider. Absolutely. S tier. Just sitting there, hanging out with the boys. Yeah, I don't like dungeons where like you go in and your like goal is to clear the dungeon from start to finish. Never been a big fan of it. I've heard a lot of negative things about the WoW dungeon style, especially with like queuing up for groups. And like maybe this is just like internet people being internet people, but like basically what I hear is like you join a group and there's just like everyone wants to speedrun and skip every dungeon, like all the trash as much as possible. And if you want to just like actually clear through the dungeon or don't know all the skips, people are pretty rude about it. And that might just be something that comes from like queue-based group assignments rather than like forming a group. But that's what I've heard a lot of. I need to go get this thing. It's surprising like the community between the games would be so different because you would assume that there is a significant overlap between the people who are playing them, right? Gotcha. That's a good perspective, Panda. And WoW, you could like LFR, right? Like there's like a raid queue system too? Or is that not a thing? I can't imagine. Can't imagine like pugging a raid with like real mechanics. Oh, okay. So it's not the same as doing the raid. Like, normal or mythic mode. Interesting. Do you get the same loot? Okay. So if you're in like a real guild, you basically don't ever do LFR, right? You just raid with the guild. Once you have something on farm, there's no reason to LFR it ever. What are the tiers? Like LFR, normal, and mythic, or is there something between? I'm getting to a point where I feel like I have to like really manage my wrath. For a long time, my wrath, I could just like spam any ability I wanted. Maybe it's because the enemies are less melee based, or like they're hitting me less, because it's all based on how much I get hit. I think with basic melee attacks, yeah, like skills don't seem to trigger it, and spells don't trigger it. But I've got to become like a little picky here, otherwise I just sit at 0 the whole time. Normal, heroic, mythic, okay. So if you're in like a relatively good guild, the normal MO is probably like day 1, try to heroic it, and then begin working mythic. Or do guilds just roll right to mythic day 1? Or does it start and like mythic's not available, so you have time to farm up heroic for a while before mythic even arrives? I guess that's why having the mirrors is so important, so you can speed it up by like weeks. It's interesting to see how different it is. EQ's like raids come out, and within like 2 hours, 10 guilds have beaten them. 10 of the 30 guilds have beaten them. Uh-oh. The cultists are here. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, we're gonna be fine. Cool. These guys are soft. Easier than the spiders, for sure. I think we rooted that one back there with a root trap. The cult, my faction with the cult of 582 has gotten worse. What a weird cult name. I don't think I'm muted. Can you hear me? Like over here catching my breath between answering questions. Right now, if I like turn fast in real life or like stand up fast, I get dizzy. It's weird. Yeah, Big Dirty, I feel you. Why do you want to play solo? Just because of like scheduling? Or like you want to play that solo style of like boxing and stuff? I wonder if EQ would be improved with like a group queue. You queue up and it pops an instance of Black Burrow for your 6-man. You guys just have it for 2 hours. Can re-queue with that group if you want. I'm sure the initial idea that people have is disgusting. That's not my EQ, but AOCs and instance content basically like revitalize the TLP community. I wonder what that would do to it. Yeah, busy. I feel you, man. It'd be cool if there was a server where they tried it out to see how it did. Yeah, but I think the original art style wasn't really an art style, Sandman. I mean, I definitely get what you're saying, but it was just like a hodgepodge of like different artwork and assets and stuff that was never... There was never a unified theme or style to it, whereas now it aims to have that. And not to discount your opinion on the current art, you know what I mean? I want to turn off tooltips like this. I don't want these to pop up when I hover my mouse around things. And I want to make all the floating text go away. They should change Ranger track and Druid track and Bar track to just be like an SEQ map in the game. You know what I mean? Just like show rather than be like, oh, the mob is like ahead and to the north of you. Everything that appears on your tracking window should just be like, boom, visible. You're damn right, Turnin. We should hire people to LARP with us that like just come and they wear like those full black outfits like they do in like some of the Japan like comedy sketches, and they all they do is like hold up signs of numbers floating while you battle other people. Monster Camp? I don't think so. Tell me about it. Lately I've been watching Shogun. I've been watching Vinland Saga. And I've been watching Lone Wolf and Cub, aka Shogun Assassin. Kind of a theme, I guess, right now. Shogun is dope, dude. 10 out of 10 right now. Watch it. Absolutely. I liked it so much I bought the book. And then I never read the book because I sit on Discord all day like an idiot. But yeah, I'm really loving Shogun. I can't wait for episode 4. It's a LARP documentary. Okay. I gotta check it out. That sounds cool. I wish LARPing was more common. I've never done an audiobook before TBK. I'm not sure if I would be able to like get into it. I like to do that thing where like I'm reading the text in the book, but I'm not actually like it's like I don't see the text. Like I'm reading it, but I'm just looking at the mental image in my mind of what's happening. It's like as I read, I watch the movie play out in my imagination, and I feel like I wouldn't be able to do that with audiobooks. Maybe I would. I should try it, but I just have never tried it yet. I think TLPs should do that, Big Dirty. I mean, why not? They come out like, you're shitting out 2 TLPs a year. You may as well take some risks on them. But I guess, like, at the same time, from the company perspective, they don't want to take big risks because it's such a moneymaker. And you want to take, like, the safe bet rather than, like, try something that probably won't be a huge success. So I could see why they don't, but I think it would be fun. As a player, I would like it. Yeah, since audiobooks are probably like less effort to consume, I worry that my mind would drift to someplace else entirely, and I would be like, oh, I need to like go back 3 minutes because I wasn't actually listening. I was thinking about some random thing. Whereas like if you have the book in your hands and you fail to pay attention as you're reading, like you almost immediately notice that. Go paintballing military combat LARP. You know, for some reason, paintballing seems cringier to me than going in the woods and yelling Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt. I'm sure it is fun. I feel like if I LARPed a lot, I would want to get like really athletic, so that like it would be a net positive for my life because I'd be out there like training all the time. Yo, magic missile, yeah. I went to a, I only have like 2 minutes left, but I'll tell this quick anecdote. I went to a competitive laser tag tournament one time with my friend. My friend was like really into laser tag. He's like, why don't you come play laser tag with me? I was like, fine, I'll come play laser tag. I was like new at this place, and I was willing to try anything, you know, to get in the social circles. I wasn't ready for like how different competitive laser tag is versus like regular, like normal laser tag. Everyone was sprinting around sideways with their shoulders tipped back so that there was no way to hit the sensors on them that would trigger, you know, like you have to shoot them basically on these like lights in their shoulders and on their back panels. And those were like totally obscured because they ran in this weird bent way so that you couldn't target them. And I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. I understand the meta and, you know, like things get crazy when you're competitive about anything, but it just seemed so silly as I was doing it. Like, dudes, I know I'll play EverQuest for 24 hours straight, but this is like a bridge too far for me. Gonna like give myself some weird back problem later in life. It seriously was a laser tag meta. And these guys loved that I was there because I was walking around like a normal person playing laser tag, and it was just great because I was like, I would get sniped like every 10 seconds. As soon as I was back in the game, I died like instantly. Like I was more or less spawn camped. Right. All right, folks, this has been another good one. Thanks for coming out. If you haven't already done it, if you're planning to play the new TLP, check out our guild, Faceless 25th, the fourth EverQuest branch of Faceless that is going to be concurrently active. Many other branches have come and gone over the years. This is Pantheon. It's a lot of fun. Every week I play it and stream it. I enjoy my time here. I encourage you guys to check it out when it's available. And I hope to see you back here next week. We'll have a new episode of Drama Quest soon, if you're into Drama Quest. But other than that, this is Zaide, signing out. Catch you later.